Hello, everyone. We are so excited you're here tonight to learn more about collagen, who needs it, what it is, what it does. My name is Dana Stark. I am a licensed esthetician by trade and a hairstylist, and I also work now in cellular health. I am being joined tonight by the beautiful Sharon LaBraca. She is a board certified nurse practitioner. She owns a longevity clinic and specializes in menopause and hormones. Thank you so much for taking your time to join us tonight. So full of knowledge. So I'm so excited to hear from you. And our special guest, Aaron Fury. He trained at the USC Keck School of Medicine, formerly working in dermatology, and now works in regenerative medicine. He is this brain full of science. As you hear him tonight, you're going to be mind blown and how he can explain what collagen does and who needs it. So, we're going to go ahead and get started. Why collagen? Now, a little bit about my story, really, really quickly. We're not going to take up too much of your time, but as we're talking tonight, too, if you hear if you think of different people as we're talking, you might think, oh, this person needs that, or this person needs that. Make sure and circle back to whoever invited you tonight. We can give them the information. We're also recording this, so just keep that in mind. But why collagen and what it does? Being in the beauty industry, I always thought collagen was visible. I always got asked, what do you use on your skin? I'm aging, my hair is thinning. What do I do to help my wrinkles and help my face get tighter? And I quickly began to realize that it wasn't just skin deep. It goes way beyond that. It affects our whole body, right? Then I started doing a lot of research, studied it for about 15 months, tried different products, really began researching and reading and knowing that people need to heal their body. The skin starts from within. Our skin is our biggest organ. So, what is collagen? Collagen is the most potent protein in the body. We all have it, but we all need even more, right? As we age, we start losing collagen, typically about 1% per year. And we're all aging all the time, right? So the older we are, the less collagen we have, but it is super important. About after the age of 25 or 30, it starts declining. So that's why it is so important. You can go ahead and click to the next slide.
Yes, ma'am.
And like I said, it goes way beyond skin deep. It affects our hair, our nails, muscle recovery. So if you're athletes out there, or if you have kids that are athletes or you work out, our muscles decline with age as well. So we're working on total body repair with collagens. It's for joint support, gut health. If you can believe gut health is affected by from collagen, bone strength, eye, liver, our cardiovascular system, our sleep, our mood, our brain, the cognitive support and sexual health. I just got to go back really quick. If we don't get enough sleep, our recovery is messed up too. So that's very important. So it affects our whole body instead of just what we see. You can go ahead and move the slide. Now, why liquid? You've probably all heard about collagens. They're everywhere. And a lot are powders. So what is the differences? They are not all created equal. And as you go about listening tonight, you'll hear we're going to show some before and afters. We're going to tell the differences, but I'll tell you, typically powdered collagens are absorbed by about 10 to 30% on average because it's a bigger molecule, right? So liquids have a higher absorption rate. Always choose a liquid, always choose a hydrolyzed collagen because it is a bigger form of bioavailability in the body. So our bodies can utilize it more. So go ahead and move the next slide. And on this, because we're going to be deep diving into the science of collagen tonight. So I'm going to turn it over to Aaron, and he is going to explain more of the science side of this.
Well, thanks, Dana. It's a honor to be here and great to be on this call with both of you. You know, in regenerative medicine, we look at the joints, and I spent 4 years in orthopedic surgery, so I know what the downsides of taking care of your joint the right way is. Um, and so we're going to look at collagen and where it really plays into cartilage and support for that. Let's look at just the basics of collagen. It's the universal glue that binds everything together. So we're supporting skin, joints, bones, muscles, tendons, gut health. And this is taken not from LifeVantage. This is actually published articles and published knowledge. There's about 28 known types of collagen, but 90% of that is type 1. However, when we look at a healthy joint, it's actually a mix of collagens. There's quite a few in there. Next slide. So here's some examples of the different types of collagen, the five most common ones, and where they're used in the body. Type 1, pretty much everywhere. Type 2, we're going to find in cartilage, but remember, type 2, like Dana said, at age 25, your production starts to decrease as type 2. At 35, your production starts to decrease of type 3, and that's used in your muscles, organs, arteries, and gives pliability to things. And then we've got 4 and 5 we see in the skin again, but 5 we see in the eyes, hair, all sorts of different areas. And this is just 5 of the types. Next slide. So what is collagen? What is it made up from? Well, it's made of protein, and that basically serves as the core. And then there's a molecular chain of a triple helix that kind of tightens all those things together. And then we need specific minerals, and this is kind of key, antioxidants to hold this physical shape intact. And so this, is kind of a preview to where the NRF2s can make the collagen so much more effective when you have that antioxidant buffering effect. Next slide. So, what does the body use to make type 1 collagen? Well, they use amino acids. They use copper as a catalyst for the enzyme that's required to twist these little helixes together. There's zinc, which amplifies the effects of copper, and vitamin C, just to name a few. Next slide. What can destroy our collagen? So there's two main things that come in and destroy collagen or weaken it. And one is called glycation from high sugar intake. And then the other thing is cortisol interference. So stress, poor sleep, elevated cortisol, things like that can all interfere with collagen and make it brittle or not form correctly into the body. And so that makes the problem even worse. Next slide. So what are some accelerators of decline? Well, we've already talked about age, steady production dropping right around 25 to 30, but hormones and estrogen decline as we get older, notably during menopause or perimenopause, because those levels can vary quite a bit. It can accelerate your skin aging and the synthesis of collagen as a failure. It also, estrogen is a major anti-inflammatory for women. And so not having that or having those levels decline will increase inflammation. Environmental things like sun exposure, especially in the skin, smoking. And then, there's some interesting things that most people don't know about. And these are things like pharmaceuticals. both over the counter and prescription, NSAIDs are terribly catabolic to the body. And that's everything from aspirin to Aleve to Motrin to Celebrex. They're all terribly catabolic. In orthopedics, we had a bad habit of injecting steroids into people's joints. And those steroids were actually destroying the collagen and degrading the cartilage over time and actually accelerating the patient's paths into surgery. Um, so those types of things, high cortisone, injecting that into a joint, putting people on NSAIDs, things like that are all counterproductive at the end of the day. They help with the symptom, but overall joint health is negatively affected. So here's a couple of studies, the two studies that looked at synthetic collagen injected directly into the knees for arthritis. And basically, they both found that the synthetic collagen was very effective. It helped with pain, it helped with inflammation, it helped with overall complaints in the knee. And so the place that I'm kind of going with this is that in regenerative medicine, we use human cell tissue products a lot of times, and those have human collagen in them. And the patients do much, much better with those therapies than anything else. So my kind of take-home point to that is that the collagen that is human or the collagen that we can stimulate and make is much more powerful than using some sort of synthetic thing that's made out of, some sort of sterilized bovine collagen or something like that, depending on, what source they use. But those things are not just processed, but highly processed. They have to be extremely processed in order to destroy any kind of proteins or allergens so people don't have allergic reactions to them. And, the patients just don't do very well with that stuff. Well, we can do much better. Now, even better than injecting something in there, of course, is stimulating your own collagen production. And the reason that this particular product with LifeVantage comes into play, and the reason we're so excited about it, is that it's actually doing three things while it's in there. It's helping increase the enzymes that will make new collagen. It's helping decrease enzymes that break down collagen. And then it's also supplying hydrolyzed collagen at the same time. So it's really a triple threat. And in medicine, and Sharon will attest to this, really monotherapies are never, ever nearly as effective as trying to come at a problem from multiple different angles. Next page. And so that was my final point there. And I'll pass it on back to Dana, and then we'll hear from Sharon. I've been waiting for it.
Awesome, awesome. Well, here comes the true science liquid collagen, and we're going to tell you how it's different from most on the market. You can go ahead and move the slide. What makes it, what makes true science superior and unique? Go ahead and next slide. So we're going to show you more before and afters, but this is just a little sneak peek. But imagine, as you can see her face, imagine what's happening on the inside of her body as well. So the difference between this collagen and a lot out on the market here is the red quinoa extract. So this activates vibrant skin from within. And we're going to talk about the activation part here in a minute. It builds collagen and it minimizes the collagen breakdown. Remember, we said as we age, our collagen breaks down as well. Okay. It has a unique blend of berry and citrus fruit extracts to support the skin's ability to create more moisture and more vibrancy. Okay. And another unique part about this particular collagen is it's marine based. It's made of fish collagen peptides. So it delivers 10 different types. Most collagens have one or two different types. This has 10 different types. I think it's the only collagen on the market that we found that has 10 types and it activates your body to make more. Next slide, please. So, as you can see here, the collagen density doubled. And this is just 8 weeks. You can see the collagen density doubling. If you look here at this yellow part, that is the collagen building and doubling. So again, this is the only collagen that doubles your collagen density within 8 weeks. And I love this graph because as there are many collagens out on the market, this top section here, you can see the True Science liquid collagen is the only activated collagen. Okay, it activates the collagen in that first bar right there. It replenishes collagen and then it's made of marine. And way over on the very right, you'll see that number 10, the only collagen that we know of with 10 different types. Again, most have one or two. Now, how clean is it? I know there's a lot of collagens that have been tested that haven't came back very clean. So this is super important, especially as we're drinking it, as we're ingesting something. The cleanliness is very important. True Science by LifeVantage got a 0 rating on the Think Dirty app. Now, if you know what the Think Dirty app is, it tests all different types of products, 0 being the cleanest, and the higher the number, the more unclean it is. So this is really important. It is super clean. Next slide, please. And I think I'm going to turn it over to Sharon. She knows so much about this slide and she can explain what's happening here in the gene expression study.
Okay, all right. So this is my first time managing the Zoom with multi-speakers. So I tell you what, it's challenging getting everybody in. But I'm Sharon LaBraca, and I'm a board certified family nurse practitioner. I'm chewing gum, gotta do it when I'm nervous. But my story is that I am board certified, right? So I was in the traditional space. During COVID, I decided to make a switch where I was practicing more in the functional regenerative space because people heal in that way. This is how I truly feel. Is supporting the body so that the innate processes that we have can come to its full fruition, and that allows us to heal. We were given these qualities by God after all. So what we're looking at with this slide and why I love this collagen is exactly that. What we're looking at here is simply the level of the genetic information that we have in our bodies where this collagen is upregulating. Now, if you see on the right side here, the SOD gene. If you haven't heard of that, that gene simply is one of the major detoxifying capabilities that we have, and we naturally make this. Well, this collagen is helping to upregulate that by 27 times, right? Now, the expressions that we see here, this is a control. Here we have the collagen, but what I want you to see is this slide, the MMP9, because this is the only collagen that I know that actually helps to reduce the breakdown of our own bodies. We start breaking it down around 25, 29 years old. So no wonder by the time we all hit about 50, 40, we're having joint pain. We're seeing the effects of loss of collagen. So stimulating your own body to preserve its collagen while we're repleting it or giving ourselves collagen is going to give us a long longevity for our own collagens to not only make it, but we're keeping the collagen that we're making. So that's why I love this slide to show that and why we recommend this particular collagen. So when we talk about what we're going to be talking about next, it's oxidative stress. This slide shows exactly what's happening. If you imagine an apple as a cell, okay, what the slide is showing is a healthy cell, and as it goes through oxidative stress, by the way, if you are human, you have oxidative stress. You don't have to have a problem in the body. Like some people are very sick, they have more oxidative stress. If we are healthy, we still have some degree of oxidative stress just by way of how we make cellular energy. So the oxygen goes to the cell, and that creates that momentum that we use to get this energy that we have. And this is what it feels like when our bodies go through oxidative stress. So if you have symptoms of chronic fatigue, loss of energy, that concentration, so that brain fog that we go through, we get sick often, headaches, the like. I mean, there's so much more that goes into oxidative stress because oxidative stress affects every single organ, every single cell in the body. And what this slide is showing is free radicals. That is what oxidative stress, when you have an imbalance in your ability to get rid of toxins as your cells work and they produce and they do the things we want them to do, the body excretes toxins. I describe that to my client as, okay, if we eat, we poop. The cells do the same thing, right? So you have the heart, the skin, the kidney, joints, lung, all these organ systems are are influenced by collagen, and they're also going through oxidative stress. So if you look at pubmed.gov, which is it's a site that medical providers go to look at articles and to see what research data we can find to support what we're doing, you'll see over 318,000 articles on oxidative stress. So that is the importance of what oxidative stress is. I'm not going to play this, but this is a precursor to what I'm going to be talking about next. We could look at the video, but we'll bypass it. The video that that I'm bypassing, you can go back to the person that invited you to this and learn more about it. But pretty much, Dr. McCord, who discovered the SOD gene, he discovered this protandem, and all it has in there, guys, is these 5 herbs: turmeric, green tea, ashwagandha, bacopa, musk, thistle. Now, individually, these they do a great work, but together, the synergy that you get is just outrageous. Okay. So this is what protandem is. Now, what Dr. McCord found and where this started is that oxidative stress increases this line as we age. When you take this protandem, it brings your oxidative stress back down to a baseline level, pretty much that of a newborn. So I'm going to get into why I'm talking about this. It'll come together for you momentarily. But when we think about antioxidants, we think, okay, we can take vitamin C, we can eat our fruits and veggies, we do all the things, right, that we know of that we've been traditionally doing. But you would have to eat, for example, 500 oranges to do the job of one of these little yellow pills that the protandem is doing. So, for example, if you rely only on food sources for antioxidants, you're neutralizing 1 free radical per second. With protandem, what you're doing is neutralizing 1 million free radicals per second. I mean, who would pick the 1 million over the one? You can put in the chat for me, or yes or no. But to me, it's a no-brainer that you can, get that much benefit from one little yellow pill. And so I did a deep dive into this product before I started to recommend it for my clients and saw this plethora of information of third-party places that did studies on the protandem. You can see all of them. I just had to include these slides because this really blew my mind. But I want to point you to this. Washington University stated NRF2 is the most extraordinary therapeutic preventive breakthrough in the history of medicine. Before this, I thought it was penicillin, right? So this is pretty incredible that a university is going to make such a claim on this.
I love too, Sharon, that the
Uh-huh.
American Heart Association, the
Yes.
American Heart Association wrote about this in their Journal of Circulation, the only natural product they've ever studied and written about. So the studies are just phenomenal. That blew my mind.
Thank you, Dana. And what I want to point out about that study that made me actually start to recommend this to all my clients, we're talking about collagen, right? And the reason why I combine this with the collagen is that we're activating these pathways, these NRF2 pathways. And I would love to dive into that study a little bit, but actually I will. So the study showed that when you pre-treated blood vessels with protandim, and you expose those blood vessels to oxidative stress, they did not develop plaque. Guys, what's plaguing us as a community nationwide? Heart issues, stroke, all these things related to cardiovascular function. This has been shown to help reduce the buildup of plaque. So we're activating these internal processes to receive the collagen and defend against oxidative stress. In other words, think of it like this. If you're in a factory and you want to produce more goods, right? And you have your machinery, if they have rust on them, you're going to slow your production of the thing. It's likewise in our bodies. If our bodies are weighted down by oxidative stress, then we give ourselves collagen, it's going to mute the response that we can get from this collagen. So by combining collagen or creating the landscape of your body being able to adopt the collagen and utilize it, then this is how you can maximize what you're getting out of the collagen. So you're activating your own NRF2 pathways, preparing the groundwork for the collagen to do its work. And as Erin showed you initially, then the collagen starts to work its magic and weave and support in ways that we don't know that it's doing. And this is happening in the gut, it's happening in the brain, the eyes, the skin, everywhere. So, again, I went through this with the gene response and it supports the antioxidant activity. But what I want to point out to you here is this. With the Protandim, you're reducing oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days and up to 75% after that. So this allows us then to really utilize that. And then look what's happening, right? These are just genes, guys, but it's just showing you that you're down regulating gene expression that's harmful to the body. And when you do the two together, you're actually increasing your collagen density, not only doubling it, but increasing it by 100%. More effective. So we have this increased collagen density. You see people having a decrease in the depth of the curls, the wrinkles. You have the smooth skin that we all desire to have, especially as we age. We're down regulating catalase. I mean, these are all big words that we're using, but they're just genes. The body is just incorporating, upregulating the good genes, down regulating a lot of the bad genes. And that's like a conversation for another time to get into that. But we're putting them together. We're building structure. We're creating an environment where we're supporting that collagen matrix so we can build and support our bones, joints, tendons, etc. So I'm gonna have Dana we're gonna go through these and look at the results that you're getting because a picture speaks 1,000 words, right? It tells
Yeah,
a story.
I love this too. And now, imagine what's going on inside of their body. When they're getting visible effects like this, imagine how it's repairing those connective tissues that the skin you see on the outside, that tightness, that all of that is being repaired on the inside as well. We're just going to go through some before and afters and you can take a look at them. But as you can see here, the cellulite, like the tightness of the skin in the legs changing, okay? Because this works on connective tissues. It's not just a cream that you rub on and get the magic. We're healing the body from the
From
inside out.
yeah, love it.
And and we'll add to that, the reminder that the body works on a hierarchy. The brain is the elite oligarch, and it will steal from everything else before it allows itself to function less. So the skin is basically last in line for this kind of stuff. So to Dana's point, when we see this in the skin, it's because everything else has gotten online first.
I mean,
So
look at these results. This is February to March, guys. This is in 1 month that you're having these responses. 2 months. You're seeing fullness, you're seeing smoothness, you're seeing reduction of nasolabial folds, reduction of those marionette lines here. This is simply with the collagen and the protandem.
I love this slide too because you can see that it also works on the vascular system here in her hand on the right. So good. I'm going to stop here really quick and then I'm going to talk to you about hair because as we age, I'm talking to a lot of men and women all the time as we age, being a hairstylist, I hear it. I see it, right? And the way this is helping the hair follicle, just stimulate that hair follicle. And I know Aaron wants to say something on this as well, because the other day he was talking about inflammation, how it relates to the hair follicle.
Right.
Yeah,
So
so
in
in
yeah,
dermatology, someone comes to us with hair loss. A lot of times we look at inflammation as a main driver of that. Uh, Even though everybody will get diagnosed with uh, male pattern or female pattern, there can be a lot of different drivers to it. And in regenerative medicine, we can use something called exosomes, which are very, very powerful. They're also rather expensive. And with exosomes, we can maybe achieve a result similar to this for thousands of dollars. It's only maybe going to last a month if the inflammatory driver is still there in the skin. But these results here, I'm going to tell you right now, any hair specialist or dermatologist would kill to have these results because there really isn't anything else out there. What we do is we inject steroids in there, and we've already talked about how steroids are actually make probably the problem worse at the end of the day. Certainly decrease collagen and destroy connective tissue. Um, and we use some topical cocktails and concoctions, but all of them are basically of limited benefit. The only thing that we really have out there is hair transplantation as an effective means. Some other things have come up. PRP has been somewhat effective, but it takes many treatments, probably 6+ treatments, very expensive, and then you have to do maintenance treatments every year. Um, and even if you're going to invest in those things, why not make your results this much better to protect that investment?
That's right. And I think, what's happening here is we're reducing the oxidative stress that produced the hair loss in the first place. So if you downregulate some of that damage from the oxidative stress, the cell is able to respond to do what you're asking it to do. But this slide is very exciting to me, and I have a personal story about it, about having a bulging disc. So we can't make claims that we're diagnosing, treating, mitigating disease with these products, but I can tell you testimonials, and this is a personal testimonial, that I had a bulging disc, which reduced in size about 50% in 6 months after being, adopting some regenerative modalities to treat my back initially at the acute stage, but then continuing with reducing the oxidative stress and allowing the hydration to take place. So, Aaron, tell us what's going on here with this slide.
Well, you can see, so you think of the discs in your back like a sponge. And when you first buy that sponge, it can come dehydrated and maybe even flat until you hydrate it again, and then it increases in height. Well, that's kind of what happens to your discs over time is you just pound the living daylights out of them and you start to decrease that height because they're starting to get dried out in many ways. From a chiropractic point of view, they would talk about not being able to release nitrogen gases and things like that out of the area. But you start to get these bulges because as that cushion goes down, the edges start to pooch out, and then we get our disc bulges. So if we can hydrate those discs back again, and you can do some of that through chiropractic manipulation and other therapies, but still, patients need something that they're taking every day that's helping fight against this problem because without that, they're going to have to come see me in orthopedic surgery. And you don't want a back surgery. Trust me. The realities of lumbar surgery is that there's a 50% failure rate.
Right. I love this. And this is a chiropractor's back. So after starting this regimen, this slide is showing the improvement in 1 year, okay, from 2022 to 23, where you see what Aaron just talked about, where you have a narrowing of your disc space And here you can see there's much, much better spacing. And so we didn't stop here. There's another aspect to this company, and we're not going to get into that much, but I wanted to, have Dana just overall quickly tell you what this is about.
Yeah, so I thank you so much again, both of you. I love the fact that we have chiropractors and other medical professionals, cardiologists saying, we have never seen this before. We have never seen these results before. We have never seen these testimonies and heard these stories before. So, like I said in the beginning, if you have thought about people tonight during this webinar, I need to tell that person, or this person has that. There is a business side to this as well. I love this because we've been featured in Newsweek, Forbes, Harvard. We're publicly traded on the NASDAQ. And if you could just change to the next slide here. I love too that you might recognize this person in the far right corner, Erin Brockovich. If you don't know her, if there's anything to disprove, she would do it. And she has been on LifeVantage's board of directors. So if you're thinking about people, we would love to help give them information. We are just three voices. You do not have to be a medical professional or in the beauty industry like me. It is our hope tonight that you got some information that might help you. It actually makes us so emotional from the stories and the testimonies that we have heard, truly changing lives. So we would love for you also to be a voice. So please circle back to whoever invited you tonight, or if you want to watch the replay, you can circle back to them as well. Thank you so much. And thank you, Sharon and Erin, for your brilliant wisdom. Love, love, love all the information. My mind is blowing. So thank you so much.
You are very welcome. Thank you all for coming. So that is the information we wanted to share about this. Just dive into it. Go to pubmed.gov, look, speak to the person that invited you to this. There's so much more that we can't go over because we're now coming up on an hour. I can't believe it. I could talk for hours with this, but it was great pleasure being with you guys. Have a great rest of your night.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.